このタイミングだ。ウェルカモ。映えてバズって輝いちゃ
What's up, trainers? Pokemon is back from its bye week. We're on episode number 59. This episode had Dot versus Larry, which was a really, really great episode. Now, honestly, the moment that Larry came on screen, I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a fantastic episode. And not only was it just focused around Larry, we also got to see a little bit of Medali, which is the town that he inhabits. It's kind of one of the main... not main, I would say it's one of like the first towns that you should, depending on what path you take from the school. It's probably one of the first gyms, probably one of the first 3 gyms that you'll end up coming across. And it's a really cool town to be able to go and shiny hunt and stuff like that in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet game. So being able to see this town really lively and seeing dances and seeing things go on in town was a really cool thing to see. Unlike, though, when they have spent more time in prior towns, like when they went to, I think, was it El Fornada? No. When they went to Lavencia, or when they went to Artisan, or when they went to Cortando, unlike those, I feel like those ones were a little bit, there was a little more life breathed into them based on the side episodes, but it very well could be that next episode, they spend a little more time here. But the next episode preview showed that, hey, Roy and Fuecoco are up next, so there's the chances of them having a side episode are probably pretty low here. So unfortunately, although Medali was one of the ones that was breathed a lot of life into, it may end up being that we don't really get to see more than this episode, which I think is okay. Now, for the actual fight, we actually got to see Quaxly, which I genuinely, I have to tell you guys up front, when it comes to the 3 starters, Sprigatito is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time now. As you guys can see behind me here, I have a Sprigatito here. You guys can't see, but behind Pikachu, I have another Sprigatito there. I think I have another Sprigatito. Yeah, literally in this table back here, I have another Sprigatito. I have another Sprigatito figurine there. Sprigatito's like my top 10 favorite Pokemon now of all time. So I'm a big Sprigatito stan. But Fuecoco is really awesome as well, too. I have Fuecoco literally right over here. But then if you guys see, look at over here, I have Quaxly over there. So I do genuinely like all 3 starters, but Quaxly is much lower on the totem pole for me. And especially, this episode had Quaxly evolving into Quaxwell. And I have to tell you guys, Quaxwell and Quaquaval are probably if I were to rank all the starters, they'd probably be the bottom, if not very close to the bottom. I genuinely do not like the design. I do not like the big head of Quaxwell. I don't like that, he's all brains up there. I don't like that they gave him a quarter pounder with cheese in the middle. I just do not like the Pokemon's design. I get it. He's Rio de Janeiro. He's based around very specific type of dancing and stuff. And I get the design. I'm just not a big fan of Quaxwell. Quaxwell, I think, is probably the worst middle starter. And then when it comes to Quaquaval, I don't know if Quaquaval is the worst of the 3rd evolutionary, but it's probably pretty close. So, although I was very excited to see Dot, have a moment in the sun here, and it definitely shows that her bond with Quaxly as well as his level have gone up a bit. It's one of those things to where I really do genuinely like Quaxly, but then once it goes into the 2nd and 3rd evolutionary lines, I just don't like the Pokemon whatsoever. So it's a little bit bittersweet for me on that. Now, for the battle itself between Dot and Larry, I thought it was a very, very good fight. We had Larry use 2 of his 3 Pokemon. Generally, when you go and you fight Larry for the first time in Pokemon Scarlet, in Pokemon Violet, when you go and fight Larry for the first time in Scarlet and Violet, you're going to fight the Dunsparce, Staraptor, and Komala. Those are going to be the 3 Pokemon that you come up to him on the first go around when he first faced him for the first time, and he only used 2. So he used the Dunsparce for a little bit. You know, it got to paralyze. Oh my god! It got to paralyze Quaxly. That paralyzation persisted for the whole fight, even after it evolved. And then Staraptor was there as well too, and Staraptor is a badass Pokemon. You know, when it comes to bird Pokemon, for me on a very personal level, because I have a really interesting relationship with Starly, as Starly has been one of my first shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I got a shiny very early on in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And because it was one of my first shinies in 2 Pokemon games back to back, I have an interesting relationship with Starly. And I also had a Starly back when it originally got introduced as well too, when it comes to shiny. So I really love Staraptor. And when it comes to all the bird Pokemon, for me, I think it definitely is like Staraptor 1, you know, Pidgeot, you know, 2. And then after that, it kind of gets skewed depending on, but, you know, depending on my feelings, whether it's like, you know, a Fearow or a Spearow or, you know, Toucannon, you know, it definitely kind of like, it skews after that. But I can definitely say Staraptor is my favorite bird Pokemon. And then after that comes Pidgeot. So getting to see Staraptor be badass, you know, with doing Brave Bird and getting Terastallized was really, really cool. On the opposite end, we had Dot kind of utilize her Pokemon strengths. And she had, you know, Quaxwell and Quaxly both use like their dance inspirations to really come in and do, you know, their Aqua Break move and, you know, to do like all the different moves that they did. And it was really, really cool to see. And she was able to Terastallize. Ultimately, the battle was so good that she was able to pass her class, you know, to pass, you know, her certification here at the gym. And Larry was able to give her a passing grade. And then obviously the funniest moment of, or to me, the funniest moment of this episode was when Larry fronted the bill for all the kids. You know, the adult has to, you know, treat the kids, and he got them a bunch of onigiri, and he had to see the bill at the end, and that was honestly, I was like, I can't replicate it, but I had like a really good laugh when he was just like dead by looking at the bill. He's like, oh, this is what I got to do, huh? So anyways, I just really like that, you know, quite a bit. I thought that was just, you know, really, really fun. So overall, this episode was, you know, fantastic. Genuinely loved the episode. Can't wait to see what comes next. But, you know, again, we got to focus a lot on the Pokemon this episode. And I think that was really, really good too. And I think this is just going to prove for Dot to grow that much more as a trainer. And then this will transition when she's doing her Nido-thing stuff, you know, when she's doing all of her different, you know, YouTube. This will just transition into more content for her at the end as she grows closer to her audience by training and battling and all that stuff. So let me know what you guys think, trainers, in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys being here for another week of Pokemon Horizons. 59 episodes in a Pokemon Horizons, and I'm still not tired of it. And that is amazing to see and to say. All right, I'm going to see you guys next week. Stay up. Peace out, trainers.